Yep, sorry about that. Blessings, everyone. Welcome. This is Pine Grove News live, and it's 6 o'clock right on the dot. Yeah, just flipped to 6:01. Yep, in on the East Coast anyway. Um, yeah, it was a nice, beautiful. Well, half the day was nice, and now we got a bunch of rain, and apparently that's going to be going. With the news of Dorian. Apparently, we'll be having that for days. But we'll see. We'll talk about that too, Dorian, and another tropical storm, and one that's hitting the Philippines over there. I don't think I've really covered it, but we may. But the talk out there basically is the hurricane, Dorian. A couple things that Israel did over the weekend. Uh, yeah, other than that, just another Wednesday. That's what it is, Wednesday. It's August 28th already, 2019, man. It's, oh yeah, 3 more days, and we'll be in September already. We all know how time has just been flying by. And, always wondered, these elderly folk, yeah, the older you get, the faster time goes by. Boy, is that true. So true. So, as the song goes that I put out there, I put it out there for a reason. That the second one, where you're going to be okay. Just be strong and courageous. Take your strength from the Holy Spirit and Jesus. We'll be okay. We'll make it. Hopefully, praying along the way, we'll be found standing at the finish line. So with that, we can start with the news, with the weather, I mean. We've got plenty of news. And we might as well just start with this from AccuWeather. Dorian. Just let me check briefly on the YouTube feed, see if that's up and running. Looks like it is. Yep. And so hopefully that will run good. I prayed on it, so I don't see anything happening unless it's my fault. But yeah, here's some more data on Dorian. Anyways, yesterday, no, it was actually 2 days ago, I think we reported on tropical storm. That it was going to possibly be a Hurricane 1 by the time it reached Puerto Rico, and then break down into a tropical storm. That was 2 days ago, maybe a day and a half, And today they got this thing turned into a Category 3, heading towards the middle of Florida. Of course, that's one model. Well, actually, two models got them heading for Florida, right smack in the middle of Florida. But before all this ever happened, Puerto Rico declared a state of emergency while it was still a tropical storm. And then we get pictures from Puerto Rico. The sun's not out, but it wasn't even raining. So you tell me what's going on, man. What's going on with that? Things like that do not change dramatically like that in intensity or direction, whatever. But this is the latest update for it. It is a Category 1 hurricane right now. Its position is 18.3 north, minus 65 degrees west. Winds at 74 miles per hour. I don't know why they're calling it a Hurricane 1, because don't you need a 75 mile per hour wind before that happens? Anyways, gusting to 92 miles per hour. And the movement is at 12 miles per hour heading northwest. And here are some maps our pictures, directions that it's going. God bless, Laura. Good to see you again. This is from AccuWeather, though. There is another model. I think it's at weatherwatch.com, something like that. I haven't really heard of it before, but they got the thing as a category 2 hit in Florida. But in any case, you see, let's see. In any case, let's see, tomorrow, Thursday, 8 a.m., category 1 heading northwest. And 8 a.m. Friday, still a category 1, heading northwest. 8 a.m. Saturday on our holiday weekend, Labor Day weekend, turning into a category 2. I don't know what those islands are. Are those the Bahamas down there? Yeah, just above the Bahamas. And then 8 a.m. Sunday, they got it reaching a category 3 strength. And on 8 a.m. Monday, Labor Day, smack right dab in the middle of Florida. So I know you've all heard it before. I know it's out there on every mainstream media channel now. And you got one, they're going by 2 spaghetti models now, one European and one US. Both of them are, more or less reliable. The European one being more reliable, go figure. They got that one. The European one shows it going through Florida, back into the Gulf of Mexico. And it's still warm in the Gulf of Mexico, so I would imagine that it will pick up strength after it loses strength after hitting land. But that's just my opinion, being around in 60 years. And then the other one, the U.S. model, has it going up the coast of the East Coast. Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see. The other day, they had one north of this hurricane. They called it a tropical storm, but I was watching it, how they showed this low up here. I don't know if they're going to have a map for that. But anyways, the other day, there was this spinning right off the coast of the Carolinas, I guess. And they, it just looked like kind of like a skeletal hurricane. It had the winds turning in a circle, but all the material, the storms and whatever, all the stuff was below it. I've never seen anything like that. So somehow those two things didn't get together, and but it's the first time I've ever seen that, though. I don't know if anybody else has seen that, but they just had a couple little clouds that looked like a skeleton of a hurricane as it's twisting and, doing its little spin there. And the parts of the storm were below it. Anyways, so that's the one that they were talking about the other day. And then, of course, this tropical storm, Puerto Rico declares emergency. And anyways, something to watch, I guess, right? Something to be distracted with. So there you have it. There's I guess you can call it an update, because everyone should have heard about this by now. It's the first one, I guess, this year to affect the U.S., right? Most of them have been in the Pacific, and they're not hurricanes. They are, what, typhoons? What's the other name? Oh, man. I forget. Cyclones. Yeah, there it is. Cyclones or typhoon. I know. And then when you get into the Atlantic, it's hurricane. But there you have it. And so this headline, Dorian and Tropical Storm Erin. That was the name of the one that went north. They take aim for the U.S. East Coast. Yeah, we got that already. This one, I have been looking everywhere to see if there was a tsunami with it. The 6.6 earthquake that hit South Sandwich Islands. and that was in the Pacific. You know, there's better models, better pictures that I can look at through my email, but this was out there. There was one other place, and I'm not sure what it was. Earthquake Watch, maybe. They had it at a 6.8 at one time. So, like usual, excuse me, the USGS obviously has been downgrading them. So, but I have not heard so far. I mean, 6.8, you know, something like that, you would expect some type of tsunami warning ever so briefly. I have not been able to find one yet. So obviously, I'll leave these links like I normally do, and you know, enjoy. Yeah, but and then you know, you're saying 6.8. Yeah, that's. But then you go and look at all the activity down. You know, they show you the whole thing, all the activity. At least maybe it's this year or accumulation. See, give you the time there. I'm just trying to 1960. Oh, from 1960. So it's quite a few years. Yeah, definitely quite a few years. So it's like 40, 59 years. And there you have it. 59 years worth of earthquakes in this one area. So it's always moving. Always moving. That's what they do. That's what those plates do. Flash flooding and a freak hailstorm sparked chaos in the Spanish capital of Madrid. I'm always out there watching some kind of weather and freak hailstorms. You know, a lot of them show up on their personal phones. And the last time I went and, got that video from the personal phone, unless you get permission, and you usually can't, either find the person or get permission. They either want some money or whatever they want. So I don't normally get those because I get copyrighted right away, and that's a strike. And it's not worth it. Not worth it. Got enough weather out there. I don't have to go do that. I've done it, quickly in a hurry sometimes, and, you pay for that. Just looking at my notes here. Yeah, we just about covered all that already. Dorian. We will talk about what Israel did, as I said, with past couple of days or weekend. But here's an update for you. I don't know if you remember this. This is from Tech the Lead or something like that. Tech the Lead. Just obviously a tech site. So you remember that Japan sent out that, I guess they call it Hayabusa2. Hayabusa2. Remember that? They sent it out there to land on an asteroid and take samples. Well, we got an update for that. So right now, this Japan's Hayabusa2, and remember, Japan, who was supposedly, doing so bad over there, car industry and so on and so forth, also claimed that they can send up a satellite and shoot down colored meteorites. I think they were planning it at the Olympics or something like that. I don't think it ever happened. In any case, here's the update. They prepared to bring the asteroid samples back to Earth. Apparently, they did. Here's an artist rendition or whatever you want to call it. So, Japan's Hayabusa2 probe met asteroid Ryugu back in June 2018. Since then, it has performed 2 touchdowns, one on February 21st, 2019, and the other one July 11th of this year. During both of them, the spacecraft collected samples directly from the asteroid. The one in June collected materials from beneath the surface. Mission Control has both photographic and video evidence that the spacecraft has collected the materials, but they cannot be completely sure until they will search the spacecraft themselves. I don't know what that means. You got a little eye warming. You know, remember those cameras that the FBI or whatever used to put underneath doors, up, you know, ventilation shafts, and they can just do that little wiggly on the top, you know, turn every direction. It's pretty neat technology. So I guess they got something like that on the spacecraft to detect whether or not it's got the samples inside it or not. But anyway, we according to this, we won't hear from them again until 2020. Yeah, hopefully they'll put it somewhere in the middle of, of all that political stuff, you know, with the election going on and all. I'd rather hear about this than that. Do not want to hear about the politics. I dread the debates and all the lying and cheating and that's why I never, you know, never really want to have anything to do with it. I am not registered to vote. Big debate out there whether Christians need to vote or not, you know, all because of that saying that Jesus said, you know, give to Caesar what is Caesar, but that has nothing to do with voting. No, it has more or less to do with probably paying your taxes that are supposed to be used to, you know, help the poor. Of course, we know that's not happening. You know, homeless people are just growing more and more because of these weather wars. They're just, you know, taking the houses from them, you know, increasing the insurance, or, you know, paying the people off their insurance not enough, okay, according to the rising prices of everything. I mean, that's why a lot of them in Paradise couldn't go back, you know, besides the fact that, well, excuse me, it was actually the fires before that, before Paradise, where they took like 18 inches of topsoil away and so on and so forth. And they took that off the payback, you know, because they paid FEMA to come in and scrape all this evidence away. And by the time the money they got, by the time that FEMA and the government got a hand on it, it was not enough to rebuild. And they did that on purpose, of course. They don't want them rebuilt. They don't want them there. Just remember Agenda 2030, Agenda 21, Jade Helm. Remember all them. Jade Helm is still active. Jade Helm, those military are still in the population. Just like our enemies over there in Iraq and Iran. Remember that. You know, the enemy over there just, you know, seeped into the population because they were the population. That's why it was so hard. Still is, in any case. So, yay for Japan and Hayabusa2. Always love to hear stuff like that. Now, whether we should spend in every dime we got or extra dime and to do these things, I don't think so. I think poor should be taken care of. The homeless and the countless children alone who go hungry every day. Yeah, we all should be doing something more about that. I don't want to talk about this yet. I think this is going to be another time. But I will tell you that I will leave this here for your pleasure if you'd like. These links, okay, it's from AMG. I don't know if that's American Media, Chris, or I forget his name, Chris. But anyways, don't forget about these things, okay? I just brought it up here to remind you that these things have not gone away either. These FEMA trains. Okay, the Armageddon, the fire of hell, the mysterious coffins of FEMA. Don't forget them. They're still out there. And then this also, Meet your future FEMA camp. Meet your future home. Remember, you got to remember these things mainly because it's just a lot of things that are coming together and coming together very quickly. And one of them is going to be sooner or later. I do not know. We've been talking about it for years, but it seems pretty close now. This economy will come crashing down. Maybe they'll use it, during the elections. I don't know. To keep Trump in office, period. But anyways, there's a lot of factors in that. Don't accept the martial law. Because here's what happens in martial law. Okay, in case any of you are listening to somebody called Q or QAnon or whomever like that, and they come out and try to, make martial law seem like cream puffs or something, or cookies and dough. It's not. This is what martial law is. It's the suspension of the Constitution, which I think we're just about there anyway. Curfews, rationing of basic foods, goods, enforced regulations and relocations, confiscations of all firearms and supplies, and summary arrest, execution by soldiers. And it's probably not going to be our soldiers, it's going to be UN soldiers. Parliamentary police and other jackbooted types welding assault rifles. That's why they want ours away from us. Basic survival tips will be followed, okay? This is the art. You want to refresh your memory. There's 2 articles right here. I've got them in the back of my head, and I've got some food prepped. I've got a little bit of water. I think I got about 50 gallons right now. That's about it. That won't last very long. So, I'm saying that because of the tariffs, that's just one reason. Because China is going elsewhere with their agriculture, they're not buying it from us anymore. Farmers are going broke. I mean, this is all the plan too. Remember this. The plan is for the government to take total control of our food supply, and then go, storm in a Walmart or a FEMA camp near you, and that's the only way you're going to get it, by taking the mark of the beast. I mean, the beast system is a cashless society. We are there just about. We've been using these debit cards and other cards like that for a long time now, and these chips that are embedded in them. Okay, hardly anybody uses cash anymore. But in any case, now you might want to say some silver coins or gold coins, but I say refresh your memory with these things, because it all is kind of wrapped around everything else. It's what they're trying to do on a massive scale in a very complicated thing. They have think tanks that think these things up, how to put them out there very slowly. We'll talk about the Georgia Guidestone in a minute too. The founder of that, and it's not R.C. Christian or R.C. whatever that was. And what's this one? Yes, and this too. This could be in the future prophetic things that are happening right now. Fighting dramatically escalates as both sides prepare for the final war between Israel and Iran. Okay, this is what happened over the weekend. And it goes on to say, we're about to see World War III erupt in the Middle East? Question mark. Over the past several days, Israel has attempted to prevent attacks by Iranian forces and their allies, Hezbollah, blah, 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 on and on and on. You know that Israel moved troops to its northern border to fight Hezbollah by striking targets over the weekend in Syria, Gaza, Lebanon, and Iraq. And as you see below this, political leaders in both Lebanon and Iraq are now accusing Israel of a declaration of war. And Hezbollah is pledging to strike Israel back extremely hard. They have missiles. They can, regardless of their accuracy, they can send thousands of them. This is what Israel's been trying to prevent, over the years, these tunnels, all this stuff, the arming of Palestinians, I guess, Gaza, people that are close to them, all around them. So they are being surrounded. They are. And listen, if Israel keeps attacking these countries, I think there might be a possibility eventually that our president will not back them anymore. I see in my head that he might do that. He has already not retaliated, at least not telling the American people, on Iran, that he came out and publicly accused of taking down a tanker or two. Anyways, so, of course, if a full-blown war erupts between Israel and one of her neighbors, it is likely to become a multi-front war almost immediately. But at the core, this is a conflict between Israel and Iran. The Iranians have repeatedly pledged to wipe the nation of Israel off the face of the planet, and the coming final war is going to literally be a matter of life and death for those two nations. Both sides have prepared for this final war for a long time. And once it fully erupts, the death and destruction that we'll witness will be off the charts. Yeah, just in the past few days, Syria and the Palestinians administered Gaza Strip and were blamed for 2 more operations in Lebanon and Iraq. Anyways, yeah, so declaring, a declaration of war, which I think Israel already thinks that they're in. So, they've been fighting this war. They've had to do it by themselves. Going to Syria, where the Russians and, things are, but we've talked about that. All right, let's take a little turn. This is from The Blaze. Whole Foods CEO plant. Well, let's just say it this way. The Whole Foods CEO. Remember what we talked about the other day? The plant-based chicken at Kentucky Fried Chicken? The plant-based meat is unhealthy, according to the CEO. I will not endorse that. That's very unusual. Good for the environment, bad for your body. No kidding. So is the GMOs. I'm pretty sure I picked up this article. It's about a farmer, who committed suicide. Not because he wasn't doing bad. Well, financially bad. He was doing pretty good, but he was a bad farmer. Anyways, I'm gonna see if I can find that right now. Yeah, let's go with this one. So, from National News, U.S. farmer commits suicide after committing massive organic fraud for nearly a decade. Millions of bushels of organic corn and soy were grown with pesticides. Now, I went and looked this up so you understand, because I thought that if it's grown organically, everything's grown organically if it's grown from the ground, right? That's what it means. But anyway, I looked this up on Google, just for the heck of it. And it's got 2 definitions. So Google, like usual, covers all the bases, even when you get definitions. So the definition of organic, first one is relating to or derived from living matter. That is everything grown from the ground. It's organic. Otherwise, it's grown in a lab. Maybe it's genetically modified another way. And in any case, we know that the seeds are. So anyway, here's Hold on. Yeah, here are some synonyms for that first answer. Okay, related or derived from living matter: living, live, animate, biological, natural. Okay, and biotic, organic matter. The answer number two is the one they're using, though. Of food or farming methods produced or involving production without the use of chemical fertilizers. Okay, without the use of chemical fertilizers, pesticides, or other artificial agents. So that's what we're talking about here, to be sure. Organic. They got to spell it a different way if they're going to use it in the same, instance of living matter. Anyway. Okay, so it's the farming method. Number two, without the use of fertilizers and pesticides. So this guy, this farmer, for the past decade at least. So do you trust the organic label to really be organic? Most of us do, right? U.S. farmer named Randy Constant killed himself to avoid a 10-year prison sentence after being convicted of running a massive organic fraud scheme that produced millions of bushels of organic corn and soybeans, which are sold into the U.S. marketplace. His conviction has been called the largest organic fraud scheme in the history of America. Constant amassed a fortune of $142 million. See, he was doing pretty good in fraudulent organic grain sales. As part of the scheme, which he saw fake organic grains fed to meat livestock to produce so-called organic meat. So now your meat is not organic either now because of this. So he essentially laundered fraudulent fake organic grains to animals to produce fake organic meat. All kinds of things are going on with the meat industry. The government's trying to take it over. They're trying to come out with these plant-based meat products. I guess they're calling them plant-based meat. It's not meat. It's plants. I don't know what they're going to do. Why they bothered to make a steak in a lab or a head of lettuce that I saw created in a water bin at some other lab. They actually made lettuce in there, and meat. They can do it now. They're doing it in China. Yeah, none of it's any good for you. Just genetically modified. They were talking about the pigs now, okay? All this seed that we're growing these things with, and it's illegal. The United States has been trying to sell it to anybody or everybody outside of the United States. And they're saying if you can't buy any seed from us unless it's GMO. First of all, the fact that it doesn't have its own seed, or at least it will not grow from that GMO seed, so you have to buy it every year. You can't grow the field and then get your own seed, that God, put in everything that was made, for us for food on the trees. They were all given the seeds to, keep making themselves after their kind. That was the whole intention. And now, Satan has taken that and turned that upside down too. In the process, we're all dying from it. But Jesus said that he was going to cut these things short or else all mankind would perish. So he's cutting it short. So just, with these things going on, with, Israel may be surrounded completely soon, who knows? If things escalate and Israel keeps attacking, the United States may be forced to just lay back and do nothing. Maybe they'll be, too busy being attacked here. Still talking about FEMA camps and other things going on and martial law. And there's a lot of conspiracies out there about Red Dawn, actually happening. That there are actually Chinese Gurkhas and there are Russian soldiers in this country. We have them all over the place. Supposedly, we have many, many UN soldiers underground. These are all the things that we've talked about, and went through. These are, if they're not already here or happening, they are scenarios that could turn live. You know what I mean by that? Look at all the things that have happened in this country under the pretense of a drill, or we're practicing something, and that they've gone live. The Boston bombing, okay? There was a drill going on that day, and people actually got hurt. It went live. 9/11, a drill going on that day, for the very same scenario. Only different things were sent in different directions to leave New York unprotected. And that went live. And there are others that went live. In any case, you must know these things. Don't keep your eyes closed. I know you'd rather live in your own bubble until it all happens, and when it happens, you just want the bomb to drop on your head, and that'll be all done. Well, good luck. Because if you know all these things and you choose to do nothing, it could be pretty bad for you. You may want to spend your time under your bubble protected for this puny little time span of 60, 70, 80, whatever years. Lord only promises you 70. If you don't get any more than that, it's a plus. But then that's it. You don't want to spend the rest, you don't want to spend eternity in paradise. You don't want to spend it with peace and everywhere, and people loving each other. No hate, no fear, no pain, no tears of any kind. Just an all in empowering essence of God and His love, and who knows what we'll be doing. You can only think about what we might be doing. In any case, that's what I'm looking forward to. And it's all coming to a head. That's what I'm looking to. All right. Well, what else can we put out there? Let's see. Well, we can put out this warning again about 5G. This is from aircraft.org. 5G as mass DEW, directed energy weapon. George Guidestone prophecy. Talked about this. And here's a look at the first, 1, 2, 3, first 3 of the 10. Maintain humanity under 500 million in perpetual balance with nature. Yeah. And this they've already done. Guide reproduction wisely. Improving fitness and diversity. Well, their idea of diversity is already out there. Their guide reproduction is already out there. They're spraying chemicals. They're infusing chemicals in your water, in your food, and genetically modified stuff that's not meant for humans. It's not meant for your consumption. But the results of these things are this reproduction. We're down, men are becoming sterile, and women are having problems giving birth. It's bad enough that they would go out there, okay, and wisely or improving fitness and diversity. Wisely improving. Unite humanity with a living new language. Well, we'll forget that one. But the abortion laws, that's what I'm trying to get at. Who knows what the count is for this year and last year, but they have it at over 6 million, for however long it was illegal. So we're not increasing, we're decreasing. Okay. So they're gonna, at this rate, I'm guaranteed, it's gonna take years, decades upon decades to get it down to the 500 million. And that's why, because they can't wait. Impatience. They're the opposite of God, who is patient, who is always patient, long suffering. The opposite of that is impatient. And hurry, hurry. So they're going to do something, and we're going to watch. We're going to, just so you know. But it's because this is happening, because these things are coming true. So is the coming of Jesus Christ. Yep, He is coming too. Here's another one from this 5G junk. Okay, we don't need the 5G. 5G radioactive rape and electrocution of all biological life on Earth. It's just a blog. It's from Shepherd's Heart. I've never been there before. I like the title. I'm going to read it. I already know that's what they're doing. It's called murder. Murder, rape, electrocution, whatever you want to call it, of all biological life on Earth. Yeah. Well, the Lord said He was going to take him away. He was going to take the beast away. He's going to take him away. Been doing it for years now. You know how many days that we can go by and just give you list after list? Go to, massdieoffs.com, mass animal die-offs or deaths. I've been there in a while. It's pressing. All right. Well, got to the farmer already. Let's, what is this? Oh, this political stuff. I really don't care. Ian Omar, okay? Denies all allocations. No kidding. They get caught. They lie continually, and nothing happens to them. That is politics. That is politics. That is your politicians. That is your leaders. They make the rules for you and not for them. Is that your idea of leadership? I would think that's total opposite of the leadership that we expect. You can get that. Yep, that's coming too. The kind of leadership that Jesus Christ is going to bring is so different than what you're used to. Because He wants to rule and reign with us by His side, as priests for Him, by His side, to rule and reign with Him as equals. Well, we know that we're not equal, but that's what He wants to do. That's leadership. And so much more. All right. I wanted to talk about this one, but I'll just leave the link for you. This is from RT. Top secret U.S. Air Force spaceship breaks own record on mysterious 719-day mission. Yeah, so obviously we don't know what's up there. This is that miniature space shuttle. What I say by miniature is, this is the regular size space shuttle, and this is the one that's landing. And the one that they have to go and walk up to in, contaminated containment suits. Keep calling them containment suits, but anyway, or something else, contaminated. Anyway, I'll leave that link for you too. It gives you there's a video down here that I was looking at. Where did it go? It was a good I was pointing to it. All right, now I'm getting silly. Okay. So anyway, people in Mixler won't be able to hear this. I'm going to play it. It's only for about 25 seconds. Well, in the meantime, I don't see anybody. I'm supposed to do some talking.
The X-37B Orbital Test Vehicle, or OTV, is the nation's first unmanned space plane. Managed by the U.S. Air Force Rapid Capabilities Office, the Boeing-built X-37B is a highly flexible testbed platform for a variety of on-orbit demonstrations. This reusable system allows hosted experiments to be returned, inspected, modified, and flown again at dramatically reduced cost.
Yeah, so I don't know, just another reusable rocket, doing tests in orbit. What test can you actually do robotically? Well, that's a stupid question, right? And don't worry, this 5G, it's all getting set for the AI to basically, you know, take control of everything. Okay, remember freaking what is it? 5G, the robots, Skynet and all that stuff. And you thought all that stuff was just made up somebody's mind, just science fiction. It's all becoming fact. They put it out because they have to tell you. Anyways, there's a couple good links down there I'm going to be checking out myself. How the Georgia Guidestone prophecy to eliminate 93% of the population will likely be administered. There's a link. Terraforming platform for AI and possible depopulation. There's a link for that. So it's a pretty good link. It also mentioned the name of the guy here somewhere. I'm trying to find that. Yeah, so this documentary is also available in here. It's called Dark Clouds Over Alberton. It was released in 2015. It reveals that R.C. Christian, that's the name on this stone that it gives credit to, but it's just a pseudonym. Hope I said that right. Pseudonym for the man who provided the designs and funding for the controversial Georgia Guidestones monument was identified as Herbert Henny Kirstein, a physician from Fort Dodge, Iowa. And there's a couple links down there. You can go and read that book, Dark Clouds Over Elberton. I'm going to read that too. I say I am. I intend to, whether I get around to it or not. I've been reading some other stuff too that other people have passed on to me. Something about the pre-tribulation, post-trib, mid-trib, all that stuff. Yeah, I had some guy yelling on my Facebook page the other day, to all you watchmen, yeah, you're all being lied to. Well, hell, I knew that. I knew we're being lied to, still being lied to in so many ways, in so many, like I said, so many ways. Lied to. Yep. Well, all whatever. And then he gives me 4 videos, not very long. Their idea of the right doctrine. Some of it's pretty interesting, but just in the title alone, he is a post-trib, post-wrath. Okay, and one thing I don't understand about that is, how can it be post-wrath? I mean, first of all, we will never survive the wrath of God, not even close to it. These people, him, whatever, I don't even. He thinks that we're able to survive the wrath of God when Jesus couldn't do it. I mean, this was the point behind the whole thing of going on the cross, because he knew he wasn't going to be able to survive the wrath of God, the wrath of his Father. That's what he sweat. Well, that's not really what he sweat blood for in the garden. It wasn't it. I hope you all know that wasn't it. It wasn't just the wrath of his Father, that his Father was going to, eliminate him. That wasn't it. It was the fact that he, being with his Father, having no ending, no beginning, no mother, no father, lived with his Father for eternity. Never been separated from his Father, ever. Always with his Father. That presence, the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, that presence always. And what he was thinking about when he was holding this cup or whatever it was in the garden, and when he sweat blood, that's what he was thinking about. It's like, I don't know, if you ever been married for a long time, and then all of a sudden your spouse is taken away from you immediately. There's no sickness, no nothing else, nothing in that gap, and then just one day they're gone. And that's nothing compared to what Jesus was feeling that day, thinking about that. being separated from his father, from his throne. I mean, he didn't care about any of that. He gave up all his riches to come down here, his titles, to die for us. The worst thing was being separated from his father, who had been around, been a part of, been in union with forever. Okay, sorry. Yeah, Omar, in trouble. Yeah, lying, cheating, stealing to get in here like every other, politician. Yeah, married to a brother supposedly, faked all that to get into this country in the first place. Let's just do what they're supposed to do. Take her out of there, send her back home to wherever she came from, Somalia. Yeah, from the men who died in the Black Hawk Down trying to save her life. And they did. And she had nothing but bad things to say about those people, about the military who were there. The one that was dragged, his body was dragged around the streets, unrecognizable. Anyway, try not to go there. Let's see. Yeah, so, and there's a link here. Preparing for a financial apocalypse. It's going to happen. That's why it's going to be a big reset. That's why we're all going to, it's going to be a new world order. It's going to happen. I'm pretty sure, everyone says the Bible, Revelation says it when they talk about the scales and penny for, barley and whatever else it was, being weighed out in scales. And I don't know how that makes it sound like a world thing, but all I know is that the world is attached money-wise. I mean, they should be. It's one world. That's the problem with this world, is that they're not all together as one. But of course, the copy of the one, world unification, it's going to be a copy, and it's going to be this whole opposite. It's going to be, hell on earth. Yeah. The B system, cashless. How are you going to get a check without accepting the beast, without accepting, the mark on the forehead or the right hand? How are you going to feed your family? How are you going to go to work and get paid? The Lord will provide. But that is probably, I'd say that'd be pretty scary. They probably just end up sending you to the FEMA camp, forcing you to work or whatever, or use one of the 30,000 guillotines that they purchased. Anyway, so the insiders are selling $600 million of stock per day in August. So this is the thing that we've heard, that they're selling off. And there's some big names in it. Buffett comes to mind. I saw an article about him selling quite a bit of things, doing some big deals. Supposedly he doesn't do that unless he's got wind of something. But in any case, we should, be prepared for these things. And of course, there's always Hal Turner. I think he's the one that, him or Dave Hodges gave us the Red Dawn scenario. Of course, the TV gave us that one. They made 2 movies about that. So September 6th and 7th. Got to be prepared for this one. Here's another date setting. There's also one set for December 21st to the 29th. According to William Mount, is when the UN, the elite, want to actually destroy the planet. But I don't see that happening. I mean, why destroy the surface or the planet when, they must have a way to escape if they're going to do that. I just think that that's just crazy. September 6th and 7th, military seeks role players to portray injured citizens in New York. People be very weary or leery or whatever. Be alert for this one. Pay attention. You know about the drills and the tests, or whatever you want to call them, practice scenarios. they go live. And New York is right at the top of the list as far as places of prophecy that, probably will be utterly destroyed. I believe this probably will be hit with a nuclear bomb. Of the many that are missing, I think one will show up there, Los Angeles, try to clean that up, right? One in London. I don't think we're going to have a total nuclear war. It just doesn't make any sense. I don't think they have them all, but have you ever seen a nuclear bomb go off? I know they have video of it, if that's what it is. Yeah, and this one's from my grandson Kyle again. Here, Kyle, here's another one for you. Teenager Tryston Zohfeld finds out the hard way that vaping can kill you, as his lungs became so blocked he's put in a medical coma to save his life. So the x-ray of his lungs showed a complete blockage. Doctors ran multiple tests for a number of diseases, even pneumonia, but everything came back negative. We eliminated everything that we could possibly think that could cause it. Specialists in pediatric and pulmonary or pulmonology. It wasn't until another family member revealed that Tyson had been regularly vaping since he was in 8th grade, a habit his parents reportedly didn't know about, that doctors came to a possible diagnosis. Yeah, so telling the kids not to smoke, and they go and saying vaping is the alternative. It's even worse. It's even worse. So there you go, Kyle. You want to be healthy? Stop vaping. Oh, yeah. All I know, this is good news. I'll finish on this one. I know there's a couple other, but we're running late. The last two I got any were just crazy people doing crazy things. The ones I promised I'd give you a story on. But anyway, we've been talking about this firestorm over the drag queen event pushed the city to change library policies. Finally, common sense. Okay, remember this? It's transgenders going to these libraries, and not only that, but twerking in front of them and teaching the parents are the ones to blame here. Definitely the parents. They should all get their names, and I think they should be sent off to these FEMA camps and be retrained. What do they call it? Educational camps? Education camps. Retraining camps. Yeah, this is how to be a human. This is how to be, normal, I guess. I don't know if there is normal these days. What is normal? I'll leave it with that, right? What is normal? Anybody know what normal is anymore? I'm not saying I'm normal. I think I'm a little crazy. So anyways, yeah, it's going to change the policies. I don't know to what. All right, people. I hope I didn't depress you too much. This is not what it's supposed to do. But I hope you got a feeling that things are pretty darn close, because they are. Things are so close. They're saying, well, Giants aren't back. They aren't. Didn't we just cover that 2 days ago about the Giants being back? That they're manipulating DNA, the CRISPR, all this stuff. Japanese, the Chinese are mixing, human DNA with animal DNA. Didn't we do something on Fukushima 2 days ago? Right? Gigantism is in the Pacific now. I mean, come on. What else do we got to wait for? Got to wait for them to come out of the water and start walking on 2 feet? Yeah, Fukushima. Radiation. I mean, heck, after World War I, you saw nothing but Godzilla movies, right? I remember that. That was the one and only nightmare I ever had in my whole life. I think it was 9 years old after watching a Godzilla movie. All I could picture in my dream was Godzilla in the distance. You know how That happens. And he's walking towards you, crushing buildings as he's walking. And he gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And next thing you know, I'm trying to hide on the ground. I must be small. He can't see me. But he stepped on me. And I woke up. I actually died in my dream. They tell you if you die in your dreams, you're dead. But no, that's not true. I didn't. I died in that dream. I was stepped on anyway by Godzilla. True. It's a true story. 9 years old. That's what I get for watching scary stuff when I was little. So with that, everyone, please take care of your families. Know where they all are at all times. Get phone numbers, places they're going. Tell them to text you when they get somewhere. Know where they are. So in a split second, get them, grab them, bring them home. Whatever we need to do. And go get saved. If you're not saved, yeah, go give your life to Jesus. Go ask him for forgiveness for your sins like we all do. You can be saved too. So with that, everyone, God bless. See you Friday. Peace out.